Snacking after dinner. It's a recipe for disaster. Do you struggle with late night eating? Do you eat after dinner? Do you stick to your diet all day long, feeling really good about the progress you're making, and finish dinner and keep nibbling? It's such a common problem. Snacking in the evening hours is probably one of the worst things you can do if you want fat loss. Late night eating and leptin resistance, there it is. Leptin is a hormone that regulates appetite. Leptin is the hormone that tells your body you're full. When your body fat rises, your leptin rises. This sends a message to your brain to suppress your appetite and increase your energy expenditure. Unfortunately, as you start to store more fat, the leptin level gets higher and higher in your system, and just like insulin, we become resistant to that signal. It's like the body becomes deaf and doesn't hear that signal for appetite regulation. Such a bummer. We don't talk much about leptin resistance. Ways that leptin resistance develops is you start gaining weight, excess body fat, chronic inflammation, diets high in sugar and refined foods, sleep disturbances, that's a big one, and obviously hormonal fluctuations. But I want to talk today about late night eating, that snacking after dinner, because you just feel ravenous and you feel like you just can't get satisfied. That's most likely due to a form of leptin resistance. How do you heal that leptin resistance? How do you get past it? How do you get over it? The best way to heal leptin resistance is to eat on a schedule. You want to wake up early in the morning, eat breakfast, and when you're leptin resistant, you really want to focus on eating most of your calories during the daylight hours. Having a kind of a normal circadian rhythm, having a normal cadence to your meals. So if you suspect your leptin is the issue for stubborn fat loss, then we want to just kind of take a step back, not get too crazy about worrying about it, but just kind of dial in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No snacking after dinner, and give that a try. I'll always say we want to eat high protein, you know that, and maybe you're going to start out with a super quality high protein breakfast. If you're going to eat bacon and eggs and maybe some fruit or yogurt, shoot for about 30 grams of protein at breakfast. And maybe you want to get up early and have an early breakfast. This goes definitely against what I've said with that intermittent fasting. Oh gosh, I think if you've tried the intermittent fasting and you haven't been successful with being able to not eat later in the day, then we need to really shift gears. We need to start eating early in the morning and giving the body enough fuel so that it feels satiated and sated late at night, first of all. And another thing is, when I say late at night, you need to be going to bed. You need to be getting in bed by 9 or 10 and going to sleep so that you're not eating and foraging in the kitchen, because that is a surefire way to gain fat. So we know that eating after dinner is very disruptive to all things fat loss. It disrupts the circadian rhythm, and we're really trying to take care of that rhythm so that the body can do the things that it's designed to do on that mitochondrial cellular level. And I don't want to get too in the weeds scientifically, and I want to keep things simple. So what I'm saying is, if you struggle with stubborn fat loss and you're fasting until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're not able to resist that after dinner snacking, then it's time to shift gears. You need to eat more during the day. And when I say eating more, you need to get your protein in. Consider eating 3 meals: early breakfast, midday lunch, and early dinner, and shutting down the feeding windows, shutting down all consumption of calories after dinner, which should be probably, about 6 p.m., so that you have a good 3 hours before bed in the fasted state. If you suspect leptin resistance, then maybe we want to do a metabolic blood panel, testing leptin, testing your insulin, testing the markers, looking at your metabolism. That can be added on to your 4-session metabolic mastery course with me, really diving deep, looking at metabolic markers so that we know exactly where your levels are, and then we can go from there. But rest assured, if you've been quote unquote doing it all right and not having any traction or any long-term results in your fat loss journey, there's a couple things we need to uncover. It's not all about calories in and calories out, and I know that you know that. But if you've been having difficulties sticking to the plan because after dinner you just can't seem to get yourself together to not eat, I've got some tools. Understanding that you need your protein, really quality sources of protein, and I will suggest that you supplement some protein with the optimal aminos. If you haven't tried optimal aminos, it's a wonderful way to get up to 30 grams of protein in the fasted state by a supplemental essential amino acid supplement that is 99% bioavailable protein and building blocks for your body in a tablet form. They do have powder forms that are flavored, not my favorite, but optimal aminos are an amazing resource if you haven't or don't get enough protein during your mealtime. Some people complain that they just can't digest all that protein. I get it. As a menopausal woman, digestion definitely can be an issue. If you bloat with protein powders, if you feel too full, if you have digestive complaints, SIBO, hiatal hernia, there's so many things that can contribute to you not being able to digest dietary proteins, animal proteins. I definitely will suggest using digestive aids, whether you're going to rely on chewing your food extensively, whether you're going to rely on apple cider vinegar or Swedish bitters or a couple of digestive enzyme tablets, capsules. Those are good tools, but getting your protein, getting your protein is key to satiety and really fixing that insulin and leptin resistance, because it's going to give you enough fuel so that you're not feeling starving or deprived or energy deficient after dinner. You might sleep better, you'll feel better, and it'll help your body repair broken pathways. You know what else helps your body repair broken pathways? the cellular energy we get from the sun. Get out in the sun. Early morning sun on your body, in your eyes, it's everything. It allows the body to regulate specific and important hormones, cortisol and melatonin. All of those things are determined by your circadian rhythm. Those energetic mechanisms and coherence for so many workings of the body. Without mitochondrial coherence, there is no health. And that sunrise and that sunlight is going to really help cellular power. All life here on Earth is powered by the sun. So I want to get back to leptin resistance and how to improve leptin sensitivity. Meal timing is super important for leptin sensitivity and trying to reset the body in a leptin reset. So meal timing is key. You're going to eat 3 well-proportioned meals and no snacking. Hopefully we're going to have about 3 to 5 hours in between meals with absolutely no snacking. And you're going to really plan on finishing that dinner meal about 3 hours before bedtime. It doesn't mean if you have a bite of something, at 8 o'clock you need to stay up until midnight. That's not what I'm talking about, because I'd rather you go to sleep on time even though you weren't able to completely fast. So we want to support the body's natural circadian rhythm, meaning get up at sunrise, eat breakfast, live your life, get plenty of movement, eat lunch, live your life, get plenty of movement, get your list done, and have a real nice dinner before 6:30 or 7. Our metabolic rate slows at sundown. Calories consumed, food consumed after dinner typically are stored as fat. And this definitely aggravates the leptin sensitivity factor. We want to be burning fat when we're sleeping. If leptin levels aren't where they should be, our body is incapable of burning fat during the sleeping time. And this might be a big, big factor in your stubborn fat loss. So late night eating leads to lower leptin, impaired fat burning, and a greater risk of weight gain. Let me know in the comments if it's something you've played with, if it's something that's new to you. Eat most of your calories in the daytime. Another thing about eating after sunset is our stomach acid decreases. The things are shutting down for the day. Our motility, our gut motility slows down. We're not supposed to eat at night. We shouldn't have to worry about digestion during the sleep hours because that's when our body is working on cellular repair, deep tissue repair, memory encoding. All these things that are happening. We don't have the available resources to digest food and do all that cellular cleanup. It's just not good to eat after dinner. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is after dinner, many of us sit on the couch and watch our TV. That blue light is really making a mess of our circadian rhythm. It's messaging the brain to create cortisol. Our body thinks it's noon. What can we do about that? Well, you can take a walk after dinner, get some of that sunset light in your eyes so that your body starts to wind down and calm down. You can wear blue blocker glasses. You've seen those kind of red tinged glasses that will cut out the blue light from the television or your computer. You can read a book. Play games. You can do all kinds of things. Take an Epsom salt bath. If you're struggling with sleep, you should take an Epsom salt bath. And I'll say that you want 2 cups of Epsom salt in a nice warm bath. Sit there for maybe 15-20 minutes and always rinse the Epsom salt off of you and have a cup of herbal tea. That'll really tee up a deep sleep. Unfortunately, artificial blue light contributes to inflammation. It contributes to insulin resistance. And over time, that continued kind of mismatch of artificial blue light, that toxic blue light, it'll flatten your circadian rhythm. It'll flatten your cortisol rhythms. It'll create issues with glycemic control, visceral fat accumulation. I mean, it's increasing your belly fat. So pay attention to how many hours you're sitting in front of your computer and how many hours you're sitting in front of the television. And if you're like super imbalanced between that blue light and the sunlight, maybe you want to rethink your lifestyle. And if you're that off in the balance, that's going to affect your metabolism. It's going to affect your appetite. There's a lot there. So if you're having trouble kind of managing that late night eating, these are some really good facts for you to consider. And getting support, understanding the why, maybe getting some more information. I know that when I understand something a little bit better, it's easier for me to comply. If you're struggling with late night eating and you just can't seem to comply, you can't seem to get a grip, then you want to sign up for my Jumpstart session. Make a commitment to yourself. Give yourself 30 days. There's no time like today to get started on a plan that's going to really propel you into the future. A plan for success, a plan to empower you, encourage you, and supply you with everything you need to succeed. Shift your mindset. Learn something new. We can take some blood work. We can take a deep dive into what you're actually doing and shift it all into doing it well, doing it right, doing it once and for all so you don't have to deal with the struggle anymore. Invest in yourself. I love helping you iron out the wrinkles in your metabolic mess. It's not all about supplements and counting calories. There's more to it than that. As a functional nutritionist and a metabolic specialist and a fat loss specialist, did you know about leptin resistance? Let me know in the comments if it's something you've played with, if it's something that's new to you. I'd love to know what you think. So that's it on late night eating and possible leptin resistance. It really could be the missing factor for you. Come for the fat loss, stay for the longevity, and thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye-bye.